Methamphetamine isn't something you just dabble in. It's so highly addictive. You don't do some on Tuesday and then some later. This is file number 251677, People versus Teresa Marie Standish. She's here with her lawyer, Mr. Tim George. She also has a traffic ticket from July 5th of 2025 for driving without a valid operator's license. It was written under state statute, and I assigned Mr. George to that case, but it was written by a Three Rivers police officer in the city of Three Rivers. And Mr. George is the city attorney for Three Rivers, so that is a little bit difficult. So I'm going to set that aside for a minute. Let's talk about this driving under the influence charge. It's bad. You're zoinked out in the middle of an intersection. It was charged originally as a felony. It took a year or more for you to get arrested on it. It happened on June 6th of 2024. It was authorized by the prosecutor, Ms. Camfield, on August 11th of 25. So it took more than a year before it got authorized. And then shortly after that, you got picked up. I think some of that had to do with waiting for the laboratory reports, and I'm not sure what else, but and then in the meantime, before you even got arrested for this, you got charged with driving without a license back in July. All right. Mr. Matt Huff has prepared the screening report here. And this is a history of addiction to mostly opioids, but other stuff. You had a previous operating under the influence of drugs. You were in Judge Stutzman's adult treatment court, which you failed out of. And now we have this. You were passed out in the middle of the intersection with a needle next to you, and you had some weak sauce story about what happened. But they found amphetamines and methamphetamine in your laboratory blood analysis. So having said all that, Mr. George, what's your thought here?
Well, Your Honor, I've had the opportunity to represent Teresa in the past, and as the court had indicated, one of the common themes is the substance abuse. I think what Mr. Huff's recommendation does is give her the opportunity to afford herself of services. She desperately needs the services. I know that she had an unsuccessful discharge from adult drug treatment court, and that's probably the most intensive, resource probation that we have here in this county. But I think it's worthwhile to try to get her engaged in these resources. This is a scary situation. This was the first time, at least, that I've had a case that involved this synthetic opioid. I hadn't seen it before, but that in and of itself is a very scary situation. It could have ended much differently, but fortunately she is here. She does indicate that she does have employment. Obviously there's going to be concerns with her driver's license going forward, but it's all on the table for her to take these resources or to just do a significant amount of jail. And I think that she's in a place right now where she would like to have that opportunity. And if for some reason she isn't able to successfully complete it, then she knows what the outcome is going to be.
Ms. Camfield, what's your thought?
Your Honor, I've looked at Ms. Standish's history, being somewhat new to the county as of July, but I've looked at her record. I've looked at the unsuccessful adult drug treatment court. In this particular situation, not only was she She slumped over the console in the middle of an intersection with the vehicle running, albeit in park. There had been evidence from the caller to the officer that she'd driven off the road through a field and ended up passing out in the intersection after placing the vehicle in park. So there was damage to somebody's field or property. I don't know which farmer that may have been or if restitution was requested. But she had gone off the road. And in addition to the amphetamine and methamphetamine in her system, the laboratory report also showed TSH or THC, excuse me, present. And then in the vehicle, another laboratory report was conducted on a substance found in a white bindle, and that was protonidazine, which is becoming, unfortunately, a lot more popular on the streets. It is a synthetic opioid, and it is extremely dangerous. It's more functionally powerful than fentanyl, which a very small amount of fentanyl can kill someone. But now people are starting to get a hold of this for their opioid addiction. I think that this hopefully would be a wake-up call for Miss Standish. Had she consumed that with what she also had in her system, we likely would have been responding to an overdose, if not a death, at that location instead. And it's a very real threat to her. I don't know that she's ready for the services. She's had opportunities before. She's been unsuccessful, and those have been very intensive. She was an adult when those services were offered. I just think that the only resolution here, unfortunately, is a lengthy jail term where we can at least conclude during that time she would be substance free, and perhaps she can get out and then seek some additional services for herself in an in-treatment or intensive outpatient program once she's had a long period of sobriety. But she's just clearly not able to do it on her own. And I think showing up today without the ability to take a urine screen, thinking that the court would likely request one, is a little bit problematic as well. Because any water that you drink in order to be able to produce is going to dilute that.
I don't think if we get a sample, I don't think it'll be diluted, but I'm just wondering what we're dealing with right now.
Or creatinine level will be off, so it'll be hard to tell if it was.
Ms. Standish, if you do produce a urine sample, what would be in it?
Marijuana and possibly methamphetamine. But
When did you last use methamphetamine?
2 weeks ago when my uncle had passed,
Who's your uncle?
Mike Garcia, and then I just had a death last Friday of my aunt Yvonne Torres.
I saw that.
I mean, but I'm on my Vivitrol. I just went and got my Vivitrol shot Friday.
Well, Vivitrol can be effective for alcohol, but not so much
It's
for.
for opiate use. That's what it's for. I've been on
and
it since I've gotten out,
Yes.
and I've been staying out of trouble. I've been trying to get my life back on track. Been working. I haven't had any other.
Where are you working?
I work for
Oh, your
Son,
nephew. Yeah,
my
that's
son.
screwy, Louis, side job kind of thing.
Yeah, no,
Yes, you're on Vivitrol, which is primarily for alcohol, but it also can be used in opioid situations. So you are plugged into Pivotal. One problem with this case was more than a year old before it even got here. And I don't completely understand all that. So it's very old. And then in the meantime, you got this other ticket. Now, how'd you get here?
oh, I had my friend drop me off.
All right, who
My-
dropped you off?
Her name is Christina. what's her last name? Um,
All right, she didn't drive here.
160 Teresa Standish Drive.
All right, I think probably she didn't. Now, did anybody tell you Judge Stutzman has a warrant for your arrest?
I just took care of that. We just made that payment.
Double check the video, sir.
Stutzman's probably on the bench. I don't disbelieve you, but I'm gonna make sure. Hi, Ruby. Did Teresa Standish stop up there and get her warrant recalled? So you still have an open warrant for her arrest? All right, thank you. Bye. All right. There is still an open warrant for your arrest. You haven't stopped up there.
No, my mom is making the payment.
Hasn't,
Like, I had called.
yeah, well, it hasn't reached it yet.
Okay,
And your mom didn't do it as you, and you're old and your mom's still carrying your water. I want to test, and so we're gonna wait till you can provide a sample. Do you think you can go now?
right.
All right, Autumn, could you rejoin us? When you say, I think I might be positive for methamphetamine, methamphetamine isn't something you just dabble in. It's so highly addictive. You don't do some on Tuesday and then some later, a week from Wednesday. I'm very interested in where you got this stuff. Now, again, this was a year ago. So there are even newer substances newer than that, which are also very scary. The stuff gets made faster than we can keep up with it. For Mr. Huff's purposes, he ordered or he recommended that I hang a bunch of jail over your head. I don't know that I really want you on probation. There's a whole bunch of probations in your past. And I think you're still using methamphetamine while you're on these other treatments. And I guess I don't think you're under a condition that, well, if you're not on probation at Judge Stutzman, you're just paying.
Yeah, I'm just paying $5.
So I guess it's legal to use marijuana. Let's see if there's a bond condition. Let's try again. Thank you, Autumn.
I don't believe that there is, due to the nature of how she was arraigned.
May not consume alcohol anytime or any controlled substances. And its question is whether marijuana is a controlled substance. It's not actually. It's not under state statute. It is under federal law. So mine are specific. They include marijuana, but I'm not sure. And then I don't know what to do with this traffic case. I don't want to put you in a compromised position where it's a state statute case, but it is a 3 versus PD case. Ms. Campbell, do you have any thoughts on the traffic?
Well, Your
matter?
Honor, I've taken a look at that and frankly, if the courts intend, I'd like to wait till this sentencing is
All right.
completed, because if there is a likelihood of incarceration, I'm probably not going to bother moving forward with the
All right.
traffic citation.
And again, she didn't show up for arraignment.
Further, I also, for myself and Mr. George's information and Mr. Huff at court, and I'm looking at a research paper on the elimination rate of methamphetamine. It has a half-life of 10 to 12 hours. So at the conclusion of the first 24 hours, approximately 2/3 of it would have been eliminated by the body. So I guess arguably, if she's positive for it today, but claims she only took it 2 weeks ago, that's not truthful.
I think that if she is positive, I don't believe she took it 2 weeks ago. As I said, my position is that I'm afraid that she's still actively using it. So we have a lot of people, we have a lot of methamphetamine cases here, and there's a more recent phenomenon where people are using methamphetamine and opioids. That's not limited to St. Joe County. Both of them deplete all the dopamine from your brain, but methamphetamine gives opioid addicts enough ambition to get up and get more opium, get more opioids, heroin, fentanyl, this stuff, and you have to pay for it. And these tests are not as inclusive as a laboratory test, but oh, that last guy, I did the sentence and I forgot to take into account the fact that we had some cash bond money in the file. They'll figure it out, I guess, when they get there.
Sir,
Yes,
confirmation she did not drive.
very good. I believed her. What do we know?
She's positive for methamphetamine, admits use, marijuana, admits use, amphetamine, which is the byproduct of meth, also oxycodone. Claims her Vivitrol would be positive for that. I would have to verify that. I'm not aware of that 100%.
All right, thank you.
I do believe that's true.
Yeah, the
Vivitrol control
Vivitrol.
oxycodone.
All right. Okay. All right. Ms. Standish, I don't know what to do here. Oops. This happened last June. It's now October, 15 months later, and you're still in the pits. I'm gonna order 91 days in jail, credit 1, leaving 90 days to serve. Fine is 0. There's a $75 crime victims' rights fee, a $50 state minimum fee. I'm gonna waive everything else. $125 or 2 additional days in jail. You're just gonna get some forced clean time. And Matt mentions this in the report. This is deja vu all over again. This is the second time you got convicted of this, and the facts are very similar to the first case. You're still using, you're still minimizing, you're still struggling. You need to just get some clean time. $125 or 2 additional days in jail. There is another case, 251301 ST, that no valid operator's license. Ms. Campfield, what do you wish to do with that
Your
one?
Honor, the people move to dismiss in light of the jail time she'll be serving on this matter.
All right, well, that's a break and a blessing. I'm gonna save you some money and 2 points. And you did not drive here. You did tell me the truth about that. But you didn't use methamphetamine maybe you did use it 14 days ago. You also used it yesterday or 2 days ago or this morning. But Ms. Standish, you're gonna come out of jail with a clearer head. Maybe we can start from there. All right, you can go with the officer.
Hey, thanks for watching. Please do let us know in the comments what you thought of this video. If you'd like to support what we do here, the best way to do it is to pick up some of our merch. You can find it at courtroomfiles.com.